Well, hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me for a preview of Microsoft Build, which is starting tomorrow, Tuesday, March 29th, and will be running for the whole week till April through April 1st. I tried to structure a little bit because there's so different communities attending, user communities attending. Really, Build is a developer conference, but what I've seen, this is my fourth attendance of Build, is that there's a lot of medium-level managers, just call them managers right now, people who have to make decisions about technology, are the operational experts about what happens in enterprise, and to manage developers. And of course, developers are there too, no question about that. Very important part. Some people say developers are kings. And then there's also a certain amount of executives who make decisions about everything what's happening in enterprise and are the trusted advisors of the boards, of the CEOs on the CXO level of getting things done with technology. And I thought, why not, in contrast to other event previews which you might have seen, why not structure it along that? So bear with me for this and start, of course, with the kingmakers, with the developers first. In my view, the most interesting thing for developers comes with the Microsoft and Universal app. For the first time, there's a chance from the Microsoft side to build one application and deploy it not only on different Microsoft Windows 10 devices, but also on iOS and on Android. And that makes it much more powerful as, of course, a kind of like Trojan horse from Microsoft side, knowing that they have not really won the mobile platform side, making it able to deploy applications across these different platforms is interesting. But for developers, it counts is because you don't have to deal with so many things and can build more functionality in less time. So one interesting area to watch. 1 year later, Windows Universal app, where are we standing? What can be done? How does Microsoft make developers productive? And very interesting, recently wrote a blog post about this, the Xamarin partnership along the same lines, right? Deploy across different mobile platforms and enable that much more. What happened to the previous partnerships around that? I think mobile itself as a development piece is going to go away. Every vendor today has a way of enabling end users even to build, who are barely technically able to build very powerful mobile applications, deploy them across different form factors and different platforms. So that's going to be an area to watch. And not if I was a developer today making my money, I want to plan to make my money long-term on the mobile side. So interesting to see very shortly what happened with Xamarin. And then last but not least, if you're a Microsoft developer, you cannot ignore Office. Every year, Microsoft comes up with something new, how to integrate with Office in a better way, an easier way. So that will be an interesting aspect to watch as a third one. So a Universal app, Xamarin integration as a recent development, and what's happening with Office, how can you integrate Office. That's for developers, but if you're a developer, don't hang up, listen to what your boss will be looking at. And if you talk about manager, director level, I think the big thing is you're running large enterprise loads, you're looking at Azure DB, you look at what's happening with Data Lake 1 year after the announcement, what is really the adoption, what is happening there, what has Microsoft done in their version 2 of getting to that. And along that, once you have the data, the new buzzword everybody's talking about has come from Google's I/O conference last week. It's all about machine learning. What is Microsoft doing to make machine learning easier? What is happening in the Cortana Analytics Suite? How can you just have the data, but get the insights, get the automation, get the cognitive, as some vendors say, capabilities on top of all that data happening. And then last but not least, no conference around IoT. Microsoft's IoT offering has been unveiled September last year for the first time. It's making rapid progress, important area to check in. Even if your company doesn't have an IoT initiative for the moment happening right now, an area to look, because probably the next 12 months you will have an initiative of that kind of at your hand. So use that opportunity to see, as you obviously are invested in the Microsoft ecosystem, to see what's happening around IoT. That's it for the manager. So Azure DB, Data Lake, what's happening there, machine learning and Cortana Analytics, and what's happening around IoT. For the executive, don't step away. Developers or managers in this, listen to what your executive might be hearing, being present or joining remotely at Build 2016. So first of all, you're managing as an executive multiple assets there, and Microsoft's not the only vendor. So one interesting thing which happened the last 12 months is that Microsoft announced partnerships with both NetSuite and Salesforce, two major pieces of property in the cloud-based offerings, which might be running your enterprise, and you want to see what has happened partnership-wise, what progress has been made. Might there be another announcement of a large cloud or non-cloud property, which will make it easier for you, an executive, to be comfortable to move towards Azure as your cloud platform and other assets you're running in the enterprise. Then also interesting around this, we know the conversation about hybrid, we know the privacy concerns in enterprise is the Azure engine, right? The capability to deploy on-premises, freshly announced early in this year, the same stack that Microsoft has developed on Azure in their cloud data centers, in your own data centers for privacy reasons, for performance reasons. There's a lot of reasons why hybrid cloud should be happening, but all on the same platform. It's going to be interesting what capabilities are going to be available when, what are going to be the use case that Microsoft recommends to do early, who are going to be the hardware partners to provide that. And then, of course, the big other question is, what comes, the third one, what comes new in Office? Most of you users are using Office. What is the newest innovation happening there? It might not be the right event on the build side, but it will be interesting what you can do to build and extend Office and make your workers more productive. So 3 things for the executives: look for more partnerships which have been announced, look at the progress at the existing partnerships that have been announced. Are there more pieces to integrate? What is happening with Azure Engine on premises? What's the roadmap? What's the adoption? What are the use cases which are recommended? And what comes beyond what can be done with Office itself? To that point, also check out my colleague Alan Lipovsky, who will be with me there in San Francisco, what he's saying, what he's talking about on the more collaboration side working with Microsoft. And across all these 3 user groups, developers, managers, executives, check out what Microsoft is doing with HoloLens, their augmented reality collaboration platform. It should be ready for closer to prime time, really from a specification perspective and from a use case perspective. So definitely an area to watch. A big splash last year at Build was still a little early. We'll see what Microsoft is doing this week in San Francisco. Thanks for watching with me. Hope this was useful. Appreciate it. Look forward to see you there.